This video, we're going to go through some basics, how to identify grade and size hardware. So we have hex head bolts here. They're all 1/2 inch in diameter, which means across this portion of the bolt. So it is 1/2 inch diameter. There are various lengths and thread sizes. So whenever you measure a hex head bolt, you always want to measure from below the head. So this bolt here is measuring 4 inches. So it's basically 1/2 inch diameter, 4 inches long. The thread count is either fine or coarse. This thread count is 13. And basically what they do is if you take 1 inch of this bolt and you count the threads, there will be 13. In a 1/2 inch diameter fine thread, the pitch is 20. So if you take 1 inch of this bolt and you count all the threads in it, you would come out to 20. The grades of the bolt, a misconception out there is that a black bolt is a hard bolt. That's not true. The coatings on the bolt do not designate any strength. They're basically just for corrosion, and basically they look different. On the head of the bolt, you'll see this bolt has no markings. So this is considered a grade 2. It's not very strong. It's going to break. It's good if you're, building a picnic table or small things like that. But other than that, there is virtually no strength to this bolt. They use them a lot for shear bolt in equipment. When you get to this bolt here, so these two bolts are grade 5. And 3 marks on the head of the bolt indicates the grade. So 3 marks is a grade 5. Again, they're both grade 5. The color does not make a difference. This bolt here is 1/2 inch by 1.25 inches in length. So again, 1/2 inch is the diameter of the bolt. You measure from below the head, 1.25 inches. This bolt here, again, grade 5, 3 notches. It is zinc coated. 1/2 inch is the diameter. Length on this one is 1.5 inches. We move on to these bolts here. Again, they are all 1/2 inch. All measure 1/2 inch. If you notice the thread count, this is 13. It's a coarse thread, so it measures 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch diameter, 13 threads per inch. This one here is 1/2 inch diameter, 1.5 inches, and again, if you counted how many threads there are in 1 inch, it would be a 20. If you look at the top of these two bolts, even though they're fine thread and they're zinc plated, or zinc dichromate actually, the gold color is zinc dichromate, they have 6 notches on the top of the head. This indicates a grade 8 bolt. So it is harder than the grade 5 with the 3 notches. Again, the color of the bolt does not have any bearing on the strength of the bolt. This bolt here, which is 1/2 inch diameter, you measure it there, it's 1.25 inches in length, 20 threads per inch, so it is a fine thread, just like this bolt is. But if you look at the head, it says L9 on it, and it has 9 notches on it. This is an L9 bolt, which is harder than a grade 8. Differences are, right off the bat, the head is beefier. But other than that, it's just a tensile strength of the bolt. And again, when they come bare with no coating on them, it has no effect on the strength of the bolt. The other thing I want to note is when fasteners that come out of vehicles in particular, from any manufacturer, they usually have a different head size, wrench size. Wrench size does not distinguish grade or size of the bolt. It's strictly nature of the industry. When you get a bolt like this, it will come with this wrench size. If you go to 3/8, it'll have a 9/16 wrench size. The wrench size just changes with the diameter of the bolt. But if it's a fastener that was used in production of something like a vehicle, they may have a different head size, but it does not make a difference it has no bearing on a bolt. If you were to get one aftermarket, it would probably come with a different size head. This bolt right here, again, 4 inches long, 1/2 inch diameter. If you were to count 1 inch of the thread, there would be 13. So that is considered coarse thread. Once again, 1/2 inch diameter. From below the head, always measure below the head. This one is 1.5 inches. And if you were to count the thread in 1 inch of length, you would get 20 threads for that inch. Stay tuned for our next video. We're going to go over some metric hardware to just point out the differences and how to identify metric fasteners.